The new posthumous Mac Miller album, Balloonerism. Mac Miller was an artist that I got into kind of late. Regretfully so. I don't know why it took me so long to get into his stuff, but better late than never, I guess, because he truly was a one of a kind artist. Swimming in Circles are two albums in particular that I find to be sensational. Circles, especially, I find to be one of the best albums of the decade. I can't listen to that album and not start to get emotional. The man Sally passed away in 2018. But even after he passed, there was plenty of unreleased material. And since his death, we've been hearing him, and it was only proof that he's been getting better and better as an artist. And Balloonerism is no exception. This album is fantastic. In this album, you can hear Mac going in a more experimental direction with his hip hop. It feels like there are several layers within the instrumentation of this album, but the production of it all just made it sound so clean. In a lot of ways, this feels extremely dreamlike. And I feel like in a lot of ways, that's kind of the point. This entire album is very clearly meant to be a metaphor on drug addiction and Mac's desire to get away from it, even though it's difficult for him. All he wants to do is float away like a balloon. And I feel like the production on this album is meant to give you some kind of auditory sense of these drug induced hallucinations. And Mac's lyrics are so cryptic and straightforward. It's like he's just begging you to understand what he's going through. Songs like Stoned, I feel, is incredibly straightforward. But the psychedelia in Mac's jarring vocals and despairing lyricism kind of make it stand out. And then you got something like Funny Papers, which is arguably the most dense song on the album lyrically. I would go as far to say that that was one of Mac's best songs and proves just how good of a writer he was. Honestly, Funny Papers all the way down to Tomorrow Will Never Know is some of the best work that Mac has ever done. I gotta say, however, I don't love the first two tracks. I will say that the sound for DJ's chord organ is something that takes a little bit to get used to, and I still don't love it. Tomorrow Will Never Know, the closing song, is arguably the most depressing song on the album, but it's also the longest, and I'm gonna say it, I didn't think it needed to be 11 minutes. But overall, yeah, Mac did it again. This was beautiful. This was absolutely soul crushing and beautiful.